Hello and welcome to the Pretty Good Gaming Daily Triple. That's your no shit gaming news video. 3 news stories in one video with 0 faff. I'm recording this at home today, so who knows what kind of bollocks I'm about to come out with. Unfortunately, this one wasn't planned, so please forgive the recycled intro and outro. Game conventions and expos are some of the best opportunities for gamers to get their hands on upcoming titles ahead of release, and PAX East is the next big event for just that. The event, which takes place in Boston's Convention and Exhibition Center from February 27th to March 1st, was set to play host to a bunch of upcoming PS4 titles, including the Final Fantasy VII Remake and the first public hands-on with The Last of Us Part 2. Unfortunately, that's no longer the case, as Sony has cancelled its appearance at the show, and it's all thanks to the plague sweeping the planet that is the coronavirus. In an update posted to the PlayStation blog, just days after Sony announced its slate of playable titles, the PlayStation company said, "Today, Sony Interactive Entertainment made the decision to cancel its participation at PAX East in Boston this year due to increasing concerns related to COVID-19, also known as novel coronavirus. We felt this is the safest option as the situation is changing daily. We are disappointed to cancel our participation in this event, but the health and safety of our global workforce is our highest concern." In addition to The Last of Us and Final Fantasy, Sony was set to bring playable demos of 25 titles including Doom Eternal, Neo 2, and Marvel's Iron Man VR, among many others. PAX East was an excellent opportunity for Sony to get some time on the ground with gamers and have a presence on the show floor, especially with the company skipping E3 later this year. In the wake of Sony's cancellation, PAX has responded and assured fans that the event will still run as normal. PAX East 2020 will take place as scheduled with enhanced cleaning and sanitation across the show, including adhering to the recommendations set forth in the US EPA's emerging pathogen policy regarding cleaning disinfectants effective against the COVID-19 virus. We are working closely with the Boston Convention and Exhibition Center and following local, state, and federal public health guidelines, including those issued by the CDC. While we are saddened that Sony will no longer have a presence at PAX East 2020, we look forward to welcoming our friends at Sony to future PAX events and are focused on making PAX East 2020 a successful and enjoyable event for all attendees and exhibitors. Given how large Sony is as a company, presumably having staff from all over the world heading to the show, it does make sense to avoid any potential contamination. That said, if you want to get your conspiracy theories pumping, what if The Last of Us 2's public demo is so bad that Sony had to pull everything from the show to avoid throwing shade on its biggest exclusive? Or maybe the game about a viral apocalypse destroying the world hit a little too close to home? Yeah, I suppose that's pretty unlikely, but hey, you never know. The damage the coronavirus has had on the industry is already being felt by companies like Nintendo and Oculus, who have suffered production issues, as well as developmental setbacks for Ubisoft. Although the virus hasn't been all bad, since it actually drove up the sales of Plague Inc., a pathogen management simulator, becoming China's top paid game on iOS. And next up, the war between Steam and the Epic Games Store has been raging for over a year now, though it feels a lot longer. The conflict has been about as clean as the Battle of the Somme, and numerous games have been poached from Steam and added exclusively to the Epic Games Store. The first major title was 4A Games' Metro Exodus, which left Steam shortly before launch day after being available for pre-orders for weeks. However, after a year of timed exclusivity, the game is now available on Steam, and it doesn't look like its dirty weekend away with the Epic Games Store has harmed its sales one bit. The game has officially sold over 200,000 units since its introduction to the platform on Friday last week. Lars Wingfors, CEO of Embracer, the parent company of Metro Exodus' publisher Deep Silver, had this to say: "I was happy to see it performing well, selling about 200,000 copies already, and it was surprising to see one big country in Asia, the biggest country, buying the product." In a roundabout way, Wingfors is saying that China bought the game, so perhaps something about the game's numerous communist references resonated with the Chinese market. Now that Metro's success on Steam has been added to the mix, the game has undeniably been a hit. Back at launch last year, without releasing on Steam, the game sold 2.5 times as many units as the previous entries in the franchise, Metro 2033 and Metro Last Light, with the quote absolute majority of those sales being on consoles. Adding Steam sales of 200,000 to the mix should close the gap between PC and console sales quite a bit. As is tradition with the games industry, amid all this controversy, players expressed their dissatisfaction with Epic exclusivity by review bombing the game and its predecessors. That disdain still hasn't died, and it seems that Google itself is inadvertently promoting it. If you search for Steam Store in Google, you might be met with a rather provocative message reading, "Fuck Epic Games Store," along with some incomplete ASCII art. In days gone past, we could put this down to a prank or hack on Google, but it appears Steam's own algorithm has promoted it. Steam highlights popular user reviews associated with certain games, and shows them to site visitors, and it looks like a certain review from Steam user user Rommel is the origin of this expletive comment, accompanied by a friendly middle finger. Then Google's own algorithm must have picked that up as a popular result within Steam and promoted it to potential site visitors. I have no doubt that would have driven up more clicks for Steam, but is it still classed as clickbait if it's algorithmically generated by bots? The message doesn't show up for all searches for Steam Store in Google, so depending on your cache data and search history within Google, you may get lucky and see these insightful words. Epic Games remains silent in response to these playground insults, but hopefully it's working on its own sick comeback to Steam's shade. And finally, in an interview with IGN's Max Scoville and Sydney Goodman, Spider-Man star Tom Holland dropped some new details about the upcoming Uncharted movie. While at the premiere for his upcoming Disney movie Onward, the actor explained that shooting is set to begin in 4 weeks. This may come as a surprise, as currently there is no director officially attached to the project after the past 6 directors left the film. The Hollywood Reporter explains that Zombieland and Venom director Ruben Fleischer is being eyed by Sony to take the helm. Tom Holland also claims that one of his favourite games is Uncharted 4 and that much of the upcoming film is drawn from that game in particular, albeit with a stronger focus on a younger, fresher version of Drake than we typically get to see in the games. With Tom Holland playing Nathan Drake, Mark Wahlberg is set to take on the role of Sully for some reason. And that's it for today. If you like this no shit format, go ahead and give the video a like to give it a boost, hit subscribe and the bell to stay notified about all future installments. Toss a coin to your YouTuber over at patreon.com/prettygoodgaming. I've been Henry Cooper. That's all for today. Bye for now.